morning, everyone. Thank you for your time this morning. It is 10 o'clock. We'll give it another 4 to 5 minutes for everyone to file into the meeting. Thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. Good morning. It is 4 minutes past 10, so we can go ahead and get started. First, we'll start with our attendance. Please record your name and affiliation in the chat, and we'll record your attendance accordingly. Thank you. Secondly, we have the July 22nd meeting summary. Are there any questions or concerns with the minutes from the last meeting on July 22nd? Hearing none, we can move right along to the public comment period. Sid, do we have any comments from the public?
We do not. We do not. Can you hear me?
All right, hearing none, we will move right along to our LRTP progress update. Again, this is just a reminder of our 2050 LRTP process workflow, where we began by establishing our foundational metrics, looking at regional growth projections and current data trends. From there, we modeled different future pathways to understand potential impacts and regional variables. Next, we set our overarching goals and vision based on what we discovered during the scenario analysis. With our goals defined, we evaluated the physical gaps in our system across transit, highways, and active transportation. We then built out an unconstrained list of all potential projects that could address those identified needs. From there, uh, we developed a physically constrained list to fit our projected budgets. Um, we went through the evaluation phase, refined the list, reviewing it against land use scenarios and executing our air quality conformity steps. And then, of course, our planned adoption date is in September. So just a little update on the plan. We're putting the final touches, the finishing touches on our LRTP draft document, including graphic labeling, editing, and addressing comments from the advisory work group. The document is out for public review until August 30th. After the public review, we will be developing the LRTP public participation technical appendix with the engagement team. Additionally, we are awaiting final air quality conformity report from the VDOT and FHWA. We're waiting to hear back from the EPA. As soon as we hear back, FHWA will move forward with approval correspondence. As I stated earlier, the planned adoption date for the LRTP is September 10th, after which Plan RVA will transmit the document to the Federal Highway Administration and the Federal Transit Administration to fulfill all statutory requirements. Any questions on that? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to our LRTP wrap-up. This is where we want to look at some of the lessons learned that we developed during our process. So first, what we notice is that, of course, we need to tie transportation directly to housing and land use. The ability to test projects against different growth patterns ensures that we don't build projects that become obsolete if development shifts. Secondly, the public feedback made one thing clear. People want investments in transit, bike, and pedestrian infrastructure, and not just expanding roads for single driver cars. Our third lesson learned pretty much coincides with our second in saying that we need to be able to scope out multimodal features early. So anything like shared use paths or bus lanes, protected bike lanes, crosswalks, that needs to be in the project design from day one. Basically, this helps us describe what the projects are. We found great contention in the amount of highway projects that we developed through our constrained plan. We understand that there are multimodal features within those highway projects, but if we don't have scoped out multimodal features within those highway projects, they just come off as roadway widenings, and that kind of gets clouded in the communications that we want to have with the public. So we want to be able to flesh out those multimodal features early on in the scoping of these projects as they are implemented within the universal projects and within the constrained plan. Fourth, creating designated vision networks gives us a practical framework to protect priority corridors. So long-term multimodal goals actually get built out into project selection. We also need better coordination with neighboring regions. Mismatched data and different modeling assumptions across regional borders distort our travel forecasts and hurt cross-boundary planning. So we have received feedback from the feds that indicate the need for more interagency cooperation. So in between plan updates, we'll be looking at developing a framework that best facilitates that cooperation. And lastly, we need to be able to engage the public early and often. For future LRTP updates, we're looking at adopting existing VTrans needs and regional data as the baseline framework for during phase one. So reallocating staff time and resources directly towards public engagement for evaluating solutions trade-offs will help us better understand how the public feels about the current state of transportation and what they want to see in the future in terms of infrastructure improvements. Those are pretty much our overarching lessons learned. A lot of these coincide with the policy implications that we spelled out within Chapter 7 of the plan. So these are both policy-driven and process-driven. And I want to open up the floor for any questions or comments. Yes, true.
Just a quick comment if no one else is chiming in. As you say, I think this tracks largely what you presented previously and is in Chapter 7. And I think it's a good summary of the lessons learned and steps for next time. And only other comment is it's unfortunate that some of these weren't integrated this time.
We definitely understand that. And we, like I said, we're looking to look at these lessons learned to see what we can implement in the next LRTP. But your point is well taken, so thank you for that. Yes, Miles.
Thanks, Dorian. One thing I just want to add to what Dorian just said, and just for everyone's information, so some of you are on our technical advisory committee and some of you aren't, but this year we are actively, as soon as we wrap this plan up, we are starting the scoping for the next version 5 years from now. So what we're trying to do is take the lessons learned, what we have here, and anything that we hear from you all, to really fold that in from the get-go as we scope out the next iteration of this plan for 2055. Definitely appreciate Tripp's comments, but our goal out of all of this is to be able to move directly into building this into the next scope.
Thank you for that, Miles. Anything else from the work group? Yes, Amy.
Oh, good morning, Dorian and everyone. I just want to make a comment that I understand that we haven't, we can't incorporate some of these recommendations or lessons learned into this VTrans, or long range plan. But as we are going through the next round of project selection and for different funding sources, I think we can do a better job of identifying the multimodal projects and scoping them and making sure that we have communicated that properly to the public. Because I think we are funding a lot of multimodal projects. It just hasn't been, very well communicated or obvious to most folks. So maybe we can work on that, even as we're moving into the next iteration of the long range transportation plan, we can implement some of these things now. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And as Miles was saying, we're moving directly into the next iteration of the LRTP, and we're working very closely with our engagement team to understand what does the communication look like to better be able to communicate next time. So we take your point as well, and thank you for that. Any other questions, concerns, or comments from the group? All right, hearing none. Actually, we do have a section spelled out for you to give your comments if you would like. We all have the floor. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about our process currently, and then the process going into our next LRTP, I would like to give you the floor, and please feel free to speak up. All right, hearing and seeing none. Finally, just want to say thank you. This is our last advisory work group meeting of the 2050 LRTP. So just thank you for your sustained effort and partnership throughout this development, through the development of the LRTP. We greatly appreciate your time, your expertise, and your guidance that you've contributed to the LRTP. Thank you for your guidance as I've stepped into the role of the project manager. So again, just want to give gratitude to your effort to this very core document that we have coming out of the NPO. So again, if there are any questions or concerns, please feel free to voice them at this moment in time. All right, hearing and seeing none. Again, thank you for your time. And this will adjourn our meeting. Thank you all.
Thanks, Dorian.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.